welcome to Tales of Honor Podcast, a podcast dedicated to telling the true stories of the Congressional Medal of Honor. Hello everyone, and welcome back to episode 26 of Tales of Honor Podcast. I am, of course, your fearless host, Christoph Ambrosch, and that's not entirely true. I am fearful, and also, before we get going here, I want to address one little mistake that I have made over the last 25 episodes, and it will not be made from here on forth. And that is, when I say the citations, I have been saying one word wrong this entire time. I've been saying intrepidity, but it's not that. It's not that. It is intrepidity. I don't know how I've been saying it wrong, or how I missed that, or how I let it slide, or how no one has called me out on it. But it is wrong, and I will be getting it right from here on out. So when I read citations that say gallantry, and it will be followed by intrepidity, I will be saying it the correct way. So now that I got that out of the way, we'll be continuing on with our Global War on Terrorism series for the months of September and October. Tonight's episode is going to bring us to Afghanistan with William Kyle Carpenter. But before we get to that story, I'm going to let you know that it's being brought to you by my good friends down at DesignCake Studios. Now, they're also down in Florida, so we're hoping and praying for their safety during this massive storm that's coming through. In the meantime, they're a small creative design company with big talent in graphic and web design. If you or your business need a look, or hey, maybe you have an old look that you'd like to revise, go on over to DesignCakeStudios.com and see what they got to offer for you. I know I did, and I couldn't be any happier with my logo for my business and the business cards that I also got from them. I'm always getting compliments on both. And when you do contact them, please let them know that you heard about them here on the podcast, because if you do that, you'll receive a free consultation. DesignCake Studios, fresh thinking made bold. And now, a tale of honor. William Kyle Carpenter was born on the 19th of October, 1989, in Jackson, Mississippi. William, who goes by the name Kyle, was raised in Flowood, Mississippi, and at the age of 19, enlisted in the Marine Corps Delayed Entry Program in February of 2009. After completing training at the Camp Geiger School of Infantry at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, Kyle was deployed to Helmand Province in Afghanistan in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. Here, he was a Squad Automatic Weapon, or SAW, gunner from July of 2010 to November of 2010. It was in a small village near Marja that Kyle's actions not only saved lives, but earned him the Medal of Honor. The citation reads, "For conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of his life above and beyond the call of duty, while serving as an automatic rifleman with Company F, 2nd Battalion, 9th Marines, Regimental Combat Team 1, 1st Marine Division, 1st Marine Expeditionary Force in Helmand Province, Afghanistan, in support of Operation Enduring Freedom on 21 November 2010. Lance Corporal Carpenter was a member of a platoon-sized coalition force comprised of 2 reinforced Marines rifle squads partnered with an Afghan National Army squad. The platoon had established Patrol Base Dakota 2 days earlier in a small village in the Marja district in order to disrupt enemy activity and provide security for the local Afghan population. Lance Corporal Carpenter and a fellow Marine were manning a rooftop security position on the perimeter of Patrol Base Dakota when the enemy initiated a daylight attack with hand grenades, one of which landed inside their sandbag position. Without hesitation and with complete disregard for his own safety, Lance Corporal Carpenter moved toward the grenade in an attempt to shield his fellow Marine from the deadly blast. When the grenade detonated, his body absorbed the brunt of the blast, severely wounding him, but saving the life of his fellow Marine. By his undaunted courage, bold fighting spirit, and unwavering devotion to duty in the face of almost certain death, Lance Corporal Carpenter reflected great credit upon himself and upheld the highest traditions of the Marine Corps and the United States Naval Service. The fellow Marine mentioned in the citation is Nick Eufrasio, a Lance Corporal at the time, and although knocked unconscious during the blast, did survive. Kyle was found alive, but in a pool of blood, and because of quick medical attention, made it home to begin the long recovery process. He was originally coded a PEA, or patient expired upon arrival, but had been revived twice and received 12 pints of blood, and once stable in Germany, was flown back to the U.S. His right arm had a total of 34 fractures and bones broken so badly, doctors first thought they would have to amputate. For the weeks that followed, Kyle underwent skin grafts, surgeries, and even leeches to help control the blood pools under the skin. He had to be medicated simply to have his bandages changed, but eventually took his first steps and continued down the hall and around the nurse's station. Kyle received a new eye, and after a year of being at Walter Reed Medical Center, he began the rest of his recovery at home. When Kyle received the Medal of Honor from President Obama at the White House, his family, his friends, his squad, and almost all of his medical team were present to witness the event. He has gone on to college at the University of South Carolina and participated in the ribbon-cutting ceremony for the newly integrated Walter Reed National Military Medical Center and has helped raise money for the Fisher House Foundation, which helps veterans and families receiving treatment at military hospitals have free and low-cost housing. William Kyle Carpenter received the Medal of Honor on the 19th of June, 2014, and is the youngest living recipient today. And that was a Tale of Honor. Thank you so much for listening to Tales of Honor podcast, and if you like this podcast, please be sure to leave a nice review or a good rating and tell a friend, tell your family. Heck, if you're in the military, please let your chain of command know about this and make them sit you around a campfire and listen to the podcast every day, every night. You can see more information on Facebook, Instagram, and at thebeardeddetailer.com/TOH podcast. If you have any questions or comments, you can send them right on over to me via email at talesofhonorpodcast@gmail.com. And until next time, I'm Christoph Ambrose. Thanks for listening.